Single dads with kids who are too young to use the restroom by themselves, what do? As a man, we don't really think too hard about it. When I walk into a public restroom, like the ones at the mall, I always keep my daughter by my side. I block the view of the urinals and rush straight to the stall. When she was really young, like 3 and 4 years old, I'd go into the stall with her to help her reach the toilet bowl and let her do her business. When she was around 5 and 6, I'd just stand outside of the stall and let her handle it on her own. It was never a big deal to me or to anyone else, and I've seen other fathers do the same. The only person who made it into a big deal was this middle-aged woman. I remember me and my daughter were out at an outlet mall trying to buy clothes and supplies for her school when she suddenly tugged on my shirt. "Daddy, where's the bathroom? I need to go. Bad." I took her hand and headed straight for the one we passed earlier, but just before I could pull her into the restroom, a woman stopped me. She reached out and yanked on my daughter's arm. "What do you think you're doing?" she shouted. Everyone nearby turned to look at us. "You're trying to drag a little girl into the men's restroom? What kind of sick, twisted thing do you plan on doing?" she accused. I stared at her, stunned. I mean, I'd done this hundreds of times over the years and no one had ever made a scene. I thought I was prepared for a confrontation, but now that it was here, I wasn't sure what to say, so I just explained, "Look, this is my daughter. She's safer with me than with anyone else." "Safer with you?" she scoffed. "In the men's restroom full of creepers? Just ask your wife to bring her into the women's room," she suggested. I stared at her and said point blank, "My wife is dead, so unless you want me to go dig her up, I suggest you let my daughter go." But her grip only tightened. That's when my daughter looked up at me, eyes already getting teary from waiting. "I'll go by myself, Daddy. It's okay." I frowned and bent down. "Are you sure? Then make sure wherever you enter, that's where you exit, okay?" She nodded before letting my hand go. I watched her nervously walk off, going into the bathroom on her own for the first time. I couldn't help but feel my heart race and hands sweat while I waited, hoping everything would go fine, when I suddenly heard screaming, "Where are your manners?" I rushed in to find the woman from earlier gripping onto my daughter's arm, her face inches from hers as she spat and shouted, "Do you even know how to use the bathroom right? You made a mess!" Tears streamed down my daughter's eyes as she apologized over and over, trying to pull her arm back. I ran over and saw the bit of mess on the floor and toilet, something I knew would happen considering she wasn't tall enough to reach the adult-sized toilet seat on her own. She turned to me and gasped, "Why are you in the women's room? I'll report you." I rolled my eyes at her and picked my daughter up. "You know what, lady? I'm sick of your judgmental crap. Report me all you want. I'm just a father whose daughter needed to use the bathroom." Before she could open her mouth, the other women in the restroom spoke up. "You went too far, lady. You literally saw a mother bring in her son into the women's room and didn't make a fuss. So why the double standard?" The woman's face turned red as they stared her down. "This is what I get for trying to protect kids? Then fine. I hope your kids all get abducted," she said, stomping out of the restroom. "Good for you for protecting your family," the woman who stood up for me said. I smiled and quickly cleaned up the mess my daughter made, helped her wash her hands, then walked out. Since then, we've never really had problems going into the women's restroom.